got something for your ass, though. You want to learn about misery? I'll teach you about misery. I'll teach you to think about pain. There we go. Nice. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain J. And tonight we have a very special treat for you. Yes, we do. Because we're going back to a kind of really good deck that nobody plays. Swarm Siege. We're going to be upgrading the bugs, man. We got a lot of great bug spider tech, insect spider tech, counters, card draw. And again, really kind of playing the anti-meta on this one. Really cool new stuff to add into this Golgari deck. A lot of creepy crawly things. A lot of ways to just get people frustrated. And my goodness, do we play a lot of cutter decks? And we beat them. So if you're having trouble with cutter decks, this is kind of the one for you. Because we have a lot of anti-cutter tech here. And we get some salt. Ooh, we get some cutter salt down this one. So stick around if you want to watch that. Before we do that, though, I need you to do something for me. Which is, of course, tenderly press that like button, gently press that subscribe button, because if you don't press that like and subscribe button, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get attacked by the like and subscribe, which you may or may not know is a YouTube werewolf who will viciously attack you and maul you for not liking the video and subscribing to the channel today. Join us in our stream every night at twitch.tv/thatvillainj for our live stream. Goodness, we would love to have you there live and in person on Twitch and on YouTube. Both of those places where you can see us live and in person. Hit that notification. You'll be notified if we put anything up, we go live, anything like that. Hit that bell, become part of Notification Squad. Check out our Discord community for all latest news, information, post your decks, post memes, ask questions. It's all right there in Discord. We'd love for you to see it. Join us there. And of course, this deck and all the other builds I make are going to be available down below on my AetherHub. So if you want a copy of this one, Golgari Swarm, go right down there to AetherHub. So what are we talking about? Well, Golgari Siege. We are going to be relying heavily on insects. One of the main ones that I want to talk to you about. Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Haywire Might? Ooh, man, I'll tell you what. Cutter decks hate this one trick, man. They hate this thing, man. 1-drop, 1/1. When it dies, it gains 2 life. Fantastic. So it punishes your opponents for killing it. And of course, you have the 1 green, sacrifice this creature, exile target non-creature artifact or non-creature enchantment. You know what happens when they don't pay attention and you kill their cutter as soon as it goes down? They get mad. They get so salty, sometimes they just let the game run out. Like I had a guy do earlier. And it counts as an insect. Artifact creature, it's immune to go for the throat. Very, very useful early play. Kind of that secret tech that nobody is kind of running anymore. And if you're having trouble with those kind of decks, those artifact and enchantment decks, this is the type of thing you need to be ready with. I throw in 1 Bilious Skull Dweller in here because I couldn't really decide whether he belongs, so we ran the classic 61 special. You could do more of him. He's a great early cutter again. He's a great early blocker against aggro because of his 1/1 Death Touch and a Toxic. So he will absolutely help aggro decks. He puts people in a dangerous position. He's also Phyrexian Insect. And he puts Toxic, which also scares people a lot too. So I threw one of them in there just for good luck. He's just having a good time hanging out in a skull. All right, so now removal. Let's talk about that before we move on. We already had Haywire for a little bit of artifact and enchantment cracking, right? I'm going to go with Anoint with Affliction here to exile things that are really getting in my way. Creature, if it's mana 3 or less, if they get corrupted, which theoretically they could with Bilious Skull Dweller. This is really for your anti-aggro. This is for your mice that explode or other things that can't be killed, Kentra Rose or something like that. Anoint with Affliction will help out a lot with that. I'm also going to be running a lot of Tear Asunders. That's going to be super useful for me. Again, 1 green and 1 destroy, exile target artifact or enchantment. If the spell was kicked, exile target non-land permanent. So for 4, you add the black and the black and colorless. For 4, you can exile anything. But as instant speed, you exile an artifact. As soon as they try to play any artifact, Get it out of there. Get it out of there. And people will scoop. If their whole system of winning is relying on them getting an artifact out, that is going to be the way we're going to stop them with the Terra Sunder. I'm also going to go in with the Assassin's Trophy, which I rather like. It does give them a little bit of ramp, but it destroys target permanent an opponent controls. You can actually destroy lands with this, believe it or not. Any permanent. They search their library for a basic land card and put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So that's going to be my removal strike package for this one. A little bit. We're focusing on getting problematic cards out of the way, problematic permanents, and not necessarily just with one specific creature. We have other ways of dealing with that. So let's talk about some of the other things we have here. One of the new ones is the Delta Bloodflies. I think this is a solid, like, I can't imagine this isn't really good in Pauper. A 1/2 uncommon with flying, and whenever this creature attacks, if you control a creature with a counter on it, which we're probably going to, each opponent loses 1 life. So a flying creature that forces life loss for 2 at common from Tarkir, it's not a bad card, man. Like, realistically, that's pretty decent. The other one that I'm going to run, and you're saying, how do we get counters, Jay, is this Twitching Doll, which is a little cat doll made out of spiders. Horrible to think about. Let's not think about it anymore. 1 green and 1. It is a mana rock, spider toy. At the beginning of your, add 1 mana of any color, and then you put a nest counter on the creature, okay? So you actually could, by using Twitching Doll to play Delta Bloodflies, you have a nest counter. And then you can do that right there, and it has a nest counter, and then you'll lose 1 life. You'll force them to lose life if you attack on that. You can also make it explode into a swarm of spiders. You sacrifice it, create a 2/2 green spider creature token with reach for each counter on this creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Horrible. It's sad. It's really gross that it bursts into a bunch of spiders, but the more mana that you build with it, the bigger the spider explosion eventually happens. Horrible phrase right there. I don't like spiders, but these goofy eye spiders don't bother me that much. Either way, Twitching Doll is solid. We're also going to be going with Brood Spinner. Now, this guy looks goofy, okay? I'm not even scared of this. This guy looks goofy as hell with his googly eyes on there. 1 green and 1 black, Golgari, 2/3 reach. Great card with reach. 2/3 with reach for 2 is not bad, just on its own. You surveil 2, so you can put stuff in the graveyard, get the cards you need. You can also sacrifice him to explode into even more insects. You have this that explodes into insect flyers, horrible wasps. You play 1 green, 1 black, and 4. Sacrifice this creature. Create a number of 1/1 black-green insect creature tokens flying to the number of card types in your graveyard, which could be up to 6, I believe, maybe even higher. Very, very cool stuff right there. Great little card to help scry, or surveil rather, and build up blockers and go on from there. Now, here is some of the new tech. We had Delta Bloodflies, but now we have Hollow Merc Siege. That's why it's the Siege Swarm. We see Abzan and Sultai fighting each other, white versus green, because they agree on white versus blue. They agree on black and green, but they don't like, is it white or is it blue? We have both of these options, Sultai or Abzan. Both of them are really good. At the beginning of as this enchantment enters, choose Sultai or Abzan. Whenever you counter is put on a creature you control, draw a card. It only triggers once each turn. However, it will trigger each turn, my opponent's and mine. Whenever you attack, put a 1/1 counter on target attacking creature. It gains menace until the end of turn. Very, very cool. So I generally want Sultai, because if you combine this card with Twitching Doll or Warden of the Grove, or any of these other ones that put 1/1 counters on things that they kind of rely on, we will actually be drawing cards repeatedly. There's a really good synergy with Twitching Doll and Hollow Merc Siege, where you're basically drawing a card every turn. You get 2 of these. You can use that mana ability to put a nest counter on your opponent's turn and draw a card on your opponent's turn, draw an extra card on your turn, and really get card superiority out of it. Then, of course, you attack, you put a 1/1 counter, you get that menace. That actually synchronizes. If you get both of these out, you get 2 of them out, you actually get the full combo. So that's super cool. Spinner of Souls. This is going to keep a steady flow of creatures going into your hand. 1 green, 2, 4/3 reach, spirit, spider, spirit. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card in your hand and the rest of your bottom library in any order. So if they kill anything, and people love killing stuff nowadays, you basically get a new card to replace it with. That is extremely useful. I cannot tell you how useful it is that if they're killing any of your blood flies or you're sacrificing, you basically just get a free card to do it with. A 4/3 with reach for 3 is already good, but a one that constantly gives you more cards and refreshes your hand every single time that you do lose somebody is amazing. So we want to keep that in there. We're also going to go with Warden of the Grove. I know he's not an insect, but he is a Hydra and he is awesome as shit. 1 green and 2/2 at the beginning of your end step. Put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Again, synchronizes very nicely with Hollowmurk Siege. There you go, especially the Abzan version. Whenever a non-token creature enters your control, it endures X, where X is the number of counters. So as he gets bigger, he makes everyone else bigger. And again, whenever a non-token creature enters, they can have a 1/1 counter on them when they come in through Endure. That means that would trigger Hollowmurk Siege. So you can set yourself up that whenever you tap Twitching Doll, you draw a card, or whenever you play a creature, you draw a card. You're going to get a lot of card superiority. Whenever a creature dies with Spinner of Souls out, you're going to draw a card. Yeah, you're starting to see the flexibility here. We're going to finish off with the Swarm Weaver. The Swarm Weaver. 1 green and black and 2/3. Whenever the Swarm Weaver enters, create 2 1/1 black and green insect tokens with flying. Amazing. Creating a 2/3 with 2 1/1 flyings on it is insane value, especially for people that are running just singular removal. It's hard to get around all that many creatures. The Delirium right there, as long as you have 4 more creature types in your graveyard, insects and spiders you control get +1 and +1 and have death touch. Amazing stuff. We have insects, we have spiders. They're all going to get pumped, and they're all going to get death touch on top of that as well. Really, really, really powerful. You play Swarm Weaver into cracking open like a Twitching Doll or a Brood Spinner, and things go bad to worse. You have a huge swarm in the sky that is going to hurt people when it goes in. Throw in 1 Cease and Desist on there. I do like Cease for exile a creature card, 2 cards from a graveyard. We do that for Omniscience. We draw, gain 2 life and draw a card, very useful. Or we desist, and we, of course, destroy all artifacts and enchantments, which is a nice one, too. So I threw that in for funsies. You could, of course, do the other exile if you didn't want to do Cease and Desist. I kind of like the card draw on that because that's what we're focusing on. But if you wanted to do that new one and throw it in the sideboard there, I'm not mad at you. What's that one called? Oh man, I cannot remember what he's called. It exiles somebody's graveyard. There we go. Strategic Betrayal. Yeah, Strategic Betrayal is not a bad idea either. So we look at the stats on this one: 25 creatures, 12 spiders, 7 insects. So that's 19 spiders and insects. 8 instants, 2 sorcery, 12 artifacts. Surprising amount of artifacts, which, believe it or not, makes it very useful because mono black can't use Go for the Throat, which is nice. 4 enchantments, 24 lands, and a 2.6. We don't need that white. Ignore that. It's really not there. We're just doing Golgari. A little bit more green than black. You could pitch it that way. I have 1 more forest on there. As far as the lands go, I have 1 more forest on there than I do black. Blooming Marsh, Llanowar Wastes. I'm going to throw a Restless Cottage in for fun, and of course 2 Wastewood Verges for a little bit more flexibility. The sideboard I already kind of talked about. Bilious Skulldweller, you could of course slide more of those in if you need to. Mold Tender's not a bad one either from Aether Cars. That's not the worst thing. That does eat stuff out of your graveyard, but it helps you mill, which can get you the Delirium a little quicker too. And it's also an insect. Annoyant, another nowhere to run in case you have big issues with Sheltered by Ghosts. That's kind of the answer to that. Strategic Betrayal, we talked about. Dredger's Insight's not terrible. We don't really have a lot of return from the graveyard, but it does fit kind of thematically. And of course, if you want, you can throw a Skyfisher Spider in there. That's another way of destroying. He's another great 4-drop that'll destroy a permanent. And then, of course, if your graveyard is really filled up, if it dies, you get 1 life for creature, you exile it, and then you do all that. So Crazy Crab Spider is not a bad way to hit removal as well, in case you want to. We had a great time with this. Again, we were beating meta decks left and right. And we were having long, drawn-out games and really grinding people down. Again, more of a siege tactic on this one. That's why it's the Swarm Siege. Really great tech for insects, modified by some good TARKIR stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Let's get into the game, guys. Standard ranked. Here we go. Into Diamond. We're on that mythic run. Let's go. Okay. Ops goes first. My biggest issue, I think we are a little slow. And if we keep... Hey, what's up, Scarlet? Sorry about the spiders. Yeah, we're just keep getting mono red here, guys. I think we even might just scoop to this. I don't think there's any way we win against mono red. It's been this is the third time I've played mono red. I think each time that I've played it is, am I remembering correctly? I think we've played mono red 3 times in a row, if my memory serves. I don't think we've played anything else but that. Yeah, we've played Is It, Black, and Mono Red. And so just various incarnations of red. Gain some life. Let's see what he wants to do here. Counterspell? No. So an Is It, a red, and a black. Which is, that's par for the course, I suppose. Let's put down Warden of the Inner Grove. Holding up a removal or some kind of something here. He may play it. He has cashed himself out pretty good here. He's played down the... there's Corey Steele. Burst Lightning me. He's going to hate what happens next, bro. He's going to not like it. Blue, I don't believe that he's going to do anything with blue. I'll take that. We'll put down Restless Cottage. We'll do Terra Sunder on you. We'll do that on you. Boom. We'll put a white spirit token out. Crap on you there. Boom. I know he's not happy about losing that. Yep. That's the whole point. I feel like if you just take away their fucking Corey Steele, they just fold, man. I feel like that's pretty much going to be the case. If you just take away their Corey Steele, they're just going to fucking cash in. As long as we can get that right away, they just fucking give up. People are becoming too reliant on Corey Steele. Other people who are scared of it keep giving it a fucking, they keep hyping it up, man. They keep hitting the aura on that shit, and they're like, yeah, man, Corey Steele's literally unbeatable. You have to, it's got to be banned. We need an emergency ban. We keep getting these bad draws. God damn, bro. Drop a Twitching Doll. That's fine. Only bad Agent Flares. Bro, these guys aren't... These are fucking Fairweather fans, man. You think if Corey Steele wasn't as good as it was, they'd be playing that shit? Fuck no, man. They play it because it wins. They ain't fucking Is It Troopers. He's gonna probably pop it out because he knows what Haymire Might does. Okay. Does that. That's what I tell people. People are like, man, Corey Steele, man. I'm like, so start main decking a Braid. Start putting artifact crackers in everything. They'll run out. They can only put 4 of them in the deck. They'll run out. I guarantee you. Dun, 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 dun. You can still win without Corey. That's the thing that's crazy. You can win the game without Corey. With Is It, you can get in there. You can mix it up. It's not the end of the fucking world. It's bad. It sucks. But you could still get in. That's the fourth opt? Third opt. Okay, so we're going to put down that. We're going to put down that. No attacks. And turn. Hey, what's up, Nukes? How you doing? It's not that you can't only play Corey and anti-Corey, but you have to anticipate that you're going to run into it. Like right there. You have to anticipate that you're going to run into it. And you got to be able to crack that shit right away. You got to send that shit to the Phantom Zone. Right the fuck away. You know? Swarm Master. Boom. No attacks. Okay, now we're talking. He could have another one in there, but we've built board pretty good. Stock up. It's gonna pump. It's fine. Hey, power's back on. Awesome. Okay, so let's do this. Let's do Swarm Weaver. Let's do this. Brood Spinner. That's pretty good. Boom. Let's go in there. Lose one life, pings him. Stock up again. Okay. As Valgavoth. Valgavoth is always referred to as a he, I think. I think that gender becomes less of an issue when you're an abstract moth demon. I think it's probably a less of a concern with him. You know, because, again, of the aforementioned moth demon. Swarm Weaver, Brood Spinner. Alright, we're leaving a bunch of fucking bugs to block. I don't know if that was a good idea or bad idea. Oh, Quarry Steel again. Look at that. I don't think he can do enough damage here to run in on me, at the very least. I think there's enough blocker. Demons in... So, in Demons in... Demons in... whatchamacallit, in Magic, generally, are males. They're almost always depicted as males, which is... And angels were always depicted as females. But it's an interesting thing. I mean... It's almost irrelevant. Like I said, at that power level, Valgavoth's almost a god. I guess it's... And he's also an insect, which... That largely doesn't matter either, you know. He's going in. I'm gonna block that with that. You put it on the wrong guy there. The wrong kid died. Boom, boom. Okay, so we're gonna do... Tear Asunder. Boom. Boom. Pop, 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 pop. There used to be no male angels. They've been fucking up the lore lately. Yeah. In New Capenna, they made vaguely male angels, which kind of fucks up the lore. And there were... And everyone always brings up... there was male angels in Amonkhet, but they were actually Avon disguised as angels, and it was a subtle clue. There was a subtle clue about that there was something wrong with Amonkhet because that's not supposed to happen in the lore. And it was a subtle clue that Nicol Bolas was actually taking over because there's not really supposed to be male angels. So they were actually Avon disguising themselves as angels, presenting themselves as angels. So there's some interesting stuff going on. I always found it oh my god, dude. If I get another red deck tonight, guys. I always found it fascinating that I always found it fascinating that Phyrexians still had gender, despite some of them being just amorphous lumps of nothing, which is very funny to me. Because, like, they don't have a biology, so they're like living machines. So it's very funny that they sometimes decide that they are males or females, just based on vibes, which is, you know, funny. I think it's funny, at the very least. Like, you have stuff like, what's his face? What's that guy called? Sulfim Inferno Dominus, and it's referred to as a she, and it's like, well, this is female, and it basically just looks like a heap of molten metal. Like, there's nothing decipherably or coded female. It cannot sexually reproduce. I don't even think it has any genitalia or reproductive organs at all. But Sulfim has said, in whatever way that it can, probably through burning slag, I am female, which is somehow very, very funny and interesting to me, because it's an affectation that the Phyrexians inherited from a previous biological existence, if that makes any sense. No, if you look up a picture of Sulfim, she's literally just a pile of metal. So they were created by a human, and there is some sort of leftover vestigial human humanness to them, or biological urge to them. Like, for example, Elish Norn Elish Norn wants to be referred to as the mother of machines. She theoretically cannot be a mother. I mean, as a biological imperative, she is a machine. She is a created thing made out of oil and bone, ossificated bone and metal. But her desire to be a mother is still somehow innate in her construction and consciousness. Very, very unique. Very, very unique, whatchamacallit. I'm always fascinated by the Phyrexians. They're very unique to Magic. I'm sad that they're going away. I was hoping that they would go through a independent arc where they weren't monster. If they got their, if they got their independence. We have so far played 3 Izzet Cutter decks, 1 red and 1 black. I'm sorry, 4 Izzet Cutter decks and 1 red and 1 black. So we're gonna put down the bloop flies. Boom. Artifact creature, instant, instant. Bloop. I've beaten all the Cutter decks since the signed on. Yes, this is true. I don't think I'm going to beat this one. I'm going very slowly. And he's getting really good hands here. I don't think I'm going to beat this one. But I sure would like to. I don't think it's possible, though. Boom. Boom. It's literally only Cutter decks. It's kind of amazing that that's happened. So, you know. Boom, boom, boom. He's probably going to pump again, yeah. That's the 4th Cutter deck. I want to show you something real quick, guys. And I want you to notice how cool I am right now. Yeah, they should have banned Monstrous Rage. In my opinion, it's Monstrous Rage needs to go. This is what we played. Cutter, black, black, cutter, cutter, cutter. Cutter, black, mono red, cutter, cutter, cutter. That was tonight's menu. So, you know, there's that. This is flourishing, by the way. I don't know if you know this, but that's what they tell me. This is flourishing. I go first. Okay. We'll do this. Hey, Cutter deck. Awesome. Awesome, guys. That's super cool. Oh my goodness. So, wow. I think we might go for an all-Cutter night. We have so far pulled... We have so far pulled 5 Cutters. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. If only I had a nickel every time that I played a Cutter. Yeah, I'd have 5 nickels. I'd have a quota. I think we got to get rid of Assassin's Trophy, unfortunately. I think that one's not doing us any good. Let's do Swarm Weaver. That's 5. I've played 7 games and 5 of them have been Cutter. That's genuinely fucking impressive at how bad that is. He's gonna Bolt Wave naturally. Why wouldn't you? It's genuinely surprising. We're gonna throw everything we can at it, man. We're gonna regen pretty quickly here, so we gotta do it again. Boom. Whenever a counter is put on, boom. We're gonna hold steady. Hey, what's up, True Yellow Dart? I don't know what's going on with this guy either. He might be pissed off about something. And I have enough things to kill, and I beat some. It's not like I lose to all of them. I've actually beaten 2 of them and lost to 2 of them. So we're at a 50-50 against Cutter, but the thing is we only play Cutter. That's the problem here. That's kind of the underlying issue. Mother came to swat him because he's playing a Cutter deck. I think he's just pissed. Land. Wastewood Verge. Surveil. Cease and Desist. I actually want both of those cards. Legendary, we keep that legendary, pop that out. Okay. I think he's salty too, yeah. I think he's salty. I think these guys think Cutter is invincible, man. I really do think that these guys think that Cutter is literally fucking invincible. That it can't be beat. And are shocked when it is. We might have that issue. There we go. He either disconnected or was salty as shit. I don't know. Well, that's 3 Cutters down. We're actually fucking up against Cutter. which is, you know, that's good. It gets these long-ass games out here. We do build board pretty quickly. Yeah, and you know when these turkeys pop up, you know I like to go ham on these turkeys. You know I like that. I like to go ham on these turkeys. I'll keep that. Boom. Okay. Swamp Twitching Doll could get removed right away. They don't see that too often, but their instinct is to immediately play cut down. Yeah, see? Let's try Brood Spinner. He's got an instant for removal as well. He's gonna, yeah, there you go. Swarm Weaver. We want Swarm Weaver. We don't need that. Unholy Annex. Let's put down the Weave. Boom. I think that if we play a instant and Warden, I think we're good to go here. If we get a land, I can actually Assassin's Trophy out that card. Archfiend. He's going to draw off that. So we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Boof, boof, boof. There we go. Archfiend of the Dross. Don't play removal on it. It's going to be a bad decision. He wants to play removal on that. I bet he only has go for the throat and it won't work on artifacts. Don't do that, bro. Come on. Come on, man. You gotta be better than that. Cosmic. Cosmic, you change your name to green off of pink. I'm surprised. It was pink for the longest. That's why I don't think I even noticed you. There's the Archfiend. So resolve, exile. Okay, so he's only getting that. To non-creature, non-land, it's only gonna be that one. Bucket man, bucket man, bucket man, bucket man. We're gonna block that with that. Boom. Death touch. Boom. Let's put this down. He's got something there. He's got something in his hand. He's got something in it. It's not something in his hand. Bet he's got Go for the Throats, and I have a lot of artifacts. He could play it on Warden just to punish me. Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured, because he was not killing anything, and all this shit is artifacts. This isn't worth it. That's an artifact, and that's an artifact. Harvester of Misery, -2 until the end of turn. I got something for your ass, though. You want to learn about misery? I'll teach you about misery. I'll teach you to think about pain. There we go. Nice. It's been weird. It's been so weird to go against someone and playing the best deck of the meta, and they just start to be toxic against Jank. Here's the thing about meta players, man. They expect to win. I expect to lose. I'm happy if I win. Yeah. Cutters get shredded. Yeah, I might cut a ironically. I might cut a video out of a short out of that for funsies. 66%, guys. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yikes. Yikes. My instincts are telling me no. Even the Spinner of Souls into... We don't have any 1-drops to benefit off of it. We're going to mull that. That's better. It's not great, but it's better. Let's do this. Boom. Removal. No, he didn't hit it. Okay. Twitching Doll into Spinner of Souls, I think, is fine. Soul Search, reveal their hand. You choose a non-land. The mana value is 1 or less. Spirit token. So let's put down this. Boom, we get to scry. We don't need either of those because we need card draw. We need mana. Bango. He's going to crack that open. Odd choice. I don't necessarily need that too terribly. Assassin's Trophy. Go in. Pop. Unclear as to what he's doing. I have a Destroy right here. Clavileño best of 1 deck. I haven't done. I have one in my. I have the paper version, Steven Rivera, of the Clavileño deck. I don't have the actual whatchamacallit. I really should do it. Next, he's got something in his hand. That's the hold up trigger right there. There's Annoying with Affliction. Boom. Boom. Do this. He's probably got a wipe. Probably some sort of wipe. This looks like an exile deck. Yeah. Luckily I have a lot of cool things for cool people. This. He's got lots of exile. He's going to play another one on me here. Boom, boom. I do have exile, oddly enough. I have Anoint with Affliction, which can get him. And I also have Terra Sunder, which can get him. Lose a life. Boom. Boom. I'm really scared of the Shelter, though. The Shelter's going to suck. Well, I can get rid of Shelter. Draws. Loses a life. Boom. Watch, I think he'll quit right here if I do this. He's probably going to run a sweeper. Sunfall or some sort of sweeper. Affliction. Temporary lockdown. Very cool. So let's put that down. Maybe we pop it open at the end of my turn. Kentra Rose, the New Dawn. Menace, Lifelink, Indestructible. Alright, we could draw the Exile here. Here's Swarm Weaver. Let's do no attacks. Could run a Destroy. Legion to Ashes on that. Very nice. He's going to swing in. No blocks. Boom. Probably going to run a Boomer after this one. No. Swarm Weaver again. We're going to go in. Ride's End. Very nice. Ride's End again. Hollow Merc Siege. I think we do that. Whenever a counter, I think we need card draw. Unfortunately, whenever a counter is put on a... So we don't have anything that's getting counters right now. Maybe we go for the pump. Okay, let's see what he gets. Let's see what he gets. Kentra Rose artwork is very cool, yeah. Sacrifice. That. Decline. Okay, we do this. Boom. He does that. Alright. Non-artifact creature. What's he got for me here? The End. Gets all of them out of the game. It's a problem. He's going to go up by 7 here. Boom. Well, we either have to draw a removal or that's it. That's not a removal. It helps, but... Okay, does that. Does that. We'll do the move he never expects. Take action, search for a basic land. We'll search for that. Boom. Okay. Down to that, down to 5. Tear asunder. Ooh, look at that. Whenever a creature, one or more cards are put into exile for graveyard and the battlefield during your turn. So we're going to do this. During your turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Okay. Alright. This is going to be interesting. Oh no, it didn't work. It didn't go into the graveyard. Damn. It's a token. It won't go into the graveyard. Yeah, it won't exile. Damn it. I needed to use it on my own creature. Damn, I fucked that up. I was thinking differently. Yeah, I fucked that up. I could have targeted my own creature, I think, and it would have triggered it for 1. The upkeep trigger would have triggered it. I mean, whatchamacallit. Very close. I like that we fought him to a standstill. I just didn't get that good of draws on there. Good game, though. I like that. Yes, I do dual stream. Oh, well, that's that. That's that, ladies and gentlemen, I suppose. He can't go in with it. Or could he? Let's go in with Swarm Weaver, like, right away. Boom. Boom. Let's just flood him. Bum, 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 bum. Boom. 3 damage. Okay, so let's put down... Let's put down more swarms. Boom. Let's ping him for 2. Why not? Boof, boof. Boof, boof, boof. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's possible. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. You know, it's possible to make mistakes every now and again. It does happen. It's been known to happen. I know I can get that open eventually. I know I can. Black mana. Oof. Spinner of Souls. Let's do this. What have you done? Actually, we're gonna hold off. We're gonna go for 2 on that. Boom, boom. Do I use Restream to dual? No, I use. I should use Restream. I use Streamlabs Lobs, which is honestly not that good. No, it's not. I should just use Restream. It's reliable. That's part of the reason I like it. It's extremely reliable. Is this alchemy? I'm seeing a lot of cards I don't normally play. No, this is just Jay. This is Jake-me. This is me not wanting to play any fucking card that anyone plays ever. My insistence on it. My outright, dogged insistence that we play cards that nobody plays ever in all time. It's super important to me. Super, super important to me that that happened. He's going to go in and not pay attention. May see if he's got a pump here. Could have a pump.